Another action comedy from David Leitch, starring Ryan Gosling and featuring a meta story about filmmaking and stunt work? Sign me the f*** up! Hi everybody, Anthony here from Osmanthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the latest action comedy from the director of Deadpool 2 and Bullet Train, The Fall Guy. But before we get started, you know exactly what to do at the end of the video. If I've earned it, please leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. Now let's get into it. The Fall Guy stars Ryan Gosling as Colt Seavers, a retired, down-on-his-luck stuntman who is brought back to work on a movie directed by a former fling of his, Jodie, played by Emily Blunt. He originally just thinks he's there to work on the film, but executive producer Gail, played by Hannah Waddingham, tells him that the star of the movie, Tom Ryder, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, is missing, and it's Colt's job to find him and figure out what the hell happened. And he has to do all of that without the crew or the director finding out. So now he has to work on the film, find the missing star, solve the conspiracy around the star's disappearance, and get the girl. Sounds like a piece of cake, right?
You find Ryder, save Jodie's film, you get the love of your life back.
Right away, I would like to praise two things this film does incredibly well, and this should not surprise you if you've seen Leitch's other movies: the action and the comedy. And it even adds another part that's done well: the romance. Nothing can beat a stuntman actually doing something in camera, and this film takes full advantage of that, even including a few scenes where Ryan Gosling does his own stunts, which definitely sets it apart from half the blockbusters that come out nowadays. Yeah, there is some CGI and green screen used for shots that would have taken weeks to complete 100% practically, but that doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of action here is fun, exciting, and funny, with that tongue-in-cheek sense of humor that was so present in Bullet Train. Even though the action and fights were much more unique in that movie. There's also the added fun that several of these action scenes revolve around filming the movie within a movie and feature authentic stunt tech and equipment, and as a movie fan, it was fun to see. Like scenes where Colt has to flip a car with pyrotechnics exploding all around him, wear a fireproof suit and be covered in fireproof gel, then lit on fire to be slammed into a rock, or even where he has to fall 50 feet in the air onto a crash pad. To provide an authentic look at stunt work and vouches for those stunt performers and the fact that they need more recognition, something you can definitely tell was a passion point for David Leitch. I also thought the movie was pretty funny too, though the humor is a little hit or miss. Ryan Gosling though, this dude has always been relatable, charismatic, and shown that he can definitely 100% bring it in both action and drama roles. And he's not a bad singer and dancer, but between the hilarious The Nice Guys and how funny he was there, how well he mixed his musical talent, comedic timing, and deadpan in La La Land, him being the best part of the Barbie movie and one of the only things in that film that made me laugh.
Then I can't hire you.
I can't even beat him!
And now his role here, he has fully leaned into his comedic chops, and I am totally here for it. All of that is on display in The Fall Guy, and he really made Drew Pearce's script come alive. Apparently this is based on a show from the 80s, but I'd never heard of it. Gosling effortlessly brings deadpan, one-liners, slapstick, and brilliant chemistry with Emily Blunt to the screen. I honestly don't think anyone else would have fit this role as well as he did. Speaking of his chemistry with Emily Blunt, that's another thing that this movie pulls off pretty well. The romance between Colt and Jodie, something that Gosling and Blunt sell so naturally.
Really?
Yeah.
Holster that.
Yeah, it's holstered. It's done. Forget. You never saw it.
From the very beginning, you can really feel the history between these two. And between their witty flirting, the way they look at each other, and just the pure passion and attraction that they show for each other, I was 100% rooting for them and really enjoyed every time I saw them on screen together.
You guys make a super cute couple.
They honestly had some of the best chemistry I've seen since Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone in the Amazing Spider-Man movies.
I was touching up stuff.
You're touching up stuff?
Come on. I'm not gonna answer that.
I mentioned how Ryan Gosling gives a great performance here, and Emily Blunt does too. They're perfect co-leads for this type of movie. Winston Duke is also here too as a good friend of Colt's that's the head of the stunt coordination on the film he's working on. And though I would have liked to see more of him in terms of characterization, he still brings it with strong one-liners and chemistry with Gosling, along with having a few times to show off his badass action prowess that was on display in Black Panther. The rest of the supporting cast is all fine, and Hannah Waddingham does a great job as Gail, that sleazy producer that will always make you think that she's on her side, but in reality is only out for herself. A total self-serving narcissist.
Nobody's gonna notice you, that's your job. No offense.
And Aaron Taylor Johnson, though he comes nowhere close to his iconic role as Tangerine in Bullet Train,
Lemon drizzle cake?
I'm sorry, are you talking about lemons?
is also pretty good here as Tom Ryder, playing off a selfish celebrity himbo archetype, though I do have a few small complaints about that character that I'll get into later. The score is also solid here as well, though it didn't really stick out to me as well as something recently like Challengers or Doom Part 2. So now for the complaints. The smallest complaint I have is that some of the humor is hit or miss, but that's not too big of a detractor for me. For the first half or so of this movie, I was thoroughly enjoying it and actually really loving it. The performances, humor, romance, Colt's tragic backstory, the intriguing mystery surrounding Tom Rider's disappearance, it was all very enthralling. But once we get into the second half and start to see the entire picture surrounding this conspiracy, it doesn't come together as well as it could. If you pay attention or know cliches of movies like these, you can guess a couple of the big twists pretty early on in the movie. And at a certain point, just to make this story all come together, there is just one exposition dump after another. And yeah, the movie does poke fun at it, but they still do it. I also thought that, even though it was fun, well choreographed, and exciting, the final act goes a bit too far off the rails for its explosive action set piece. Though this complaint did have a bit of redemption because it was shown through the lens of movie making and stunt work, adding a bit of interesting depth to it instead of just having it feel generic. Another complaint here is with Aaron Taylor Johnson as Tom Rider. Not because he's bad or gives a bad performance or anything, but just because I wanted more of him. He was my favorite character in Bullet Train, where he really proved himself as a strong, versatile actor. So I expected another iconic role like that here. And he does great as a selfish himbo movie star, but the movie never really asks for more than just that, and he feels pretty one note whenever he's on screen. My last complaint, I did really enjoy the action here, especially when it involved highlighting movie making and stunt work, but after Bullet Train and seeing just how stylistic, visceral, and unique David Leitch's action can be, I felt a little let down at this. I mean, it's like comparing Avengers Endgame to Infinity War. Yes, I loved both, but Infinity War is just better, and this movie is good, and dips into great whenever it focuses on romance or action scenes that involve behind-the-scenes movie stuff, but it could have been better, especially with how great Bullet Train was. But besides those complaints, overall, The Fall Guy is fun, funny, and exciting, albeit a little forgettable, with great romance and chemistry between Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt, fun action sequences for the most part that do a great job highlighting stunt work, and humor that is admittedly hit or miss but flies at you so fast and so frequently that you'll definitely laugh several times throughout this movie. And that's my review of The Fall Guy. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you know what to do. I said it earlier. Please leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss any of my new reviews. While you're at it, you can scroll down in the description, find the links to my socials, leave a comment, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought, and if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. They'll take you to my review of Challengers or just over to my channel where you can check out my reviews, my shorts, and my old shit. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you on the next one. Not totally sure what it's going to be. It's either going to be that French horror film about spiders infested or the new Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie. See ya!